when they start coming on, they really start coming on. That's another really nice zucchini, and that's a nice way to start off our Saturday. And being Saturday, you know what that means. We're going to do a quick review of this garden, then we're going to go to you, and we're going to celebrate what's going on in your garden. And this is where we get ideas, this is where we get inspiration, and this is where I get the motivation to come out here every day and show you just exactly what's possible in a deep mulch garden. And you can do this too. I planted Kentucky pole beans. That's not these. But we've been growing beans on this trellis for the last couple of years, and when we're done, we just cut them off at the ground. I think these came back from seed or from the rootstock. But that makes a nice little variety in here. But it's time to start picking some beans, I think. Hardest work you're ever gonna do in a deep mulch garden is harvest. Now Saturday is my favorite day of the week, because I get to go to you and I get to see what's going on in your garden. I do invite you to become a member of this group. It's a great way to motivate others, show them just exactly what's possible in a garden, and there's all kinds of gardens. There's no obligation. All you have to do is send in a picture now and again. Let me go ahead and get a few more of these beans picked off. While I do that, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of our friends. Ted comes to us from Georgia. This is his second year of gardening. He expanded quite a bit. Check out how the string trellis has really helped maximize the space in his raised bed area. This is wonderful, Ted. Thank you for sharing. Ted, that was fantastic. Welcome to this community, and thank you for sharing. And let's go ahead and take a look at another one of our friends. Art's been harvesting some tomatoes that he has hidden in amongst these bananas. He's making salsa, and his salsa is hot. Thank you, Art. That looks delicious. Art, thank you. I know your salsa is hot. I wish I had a chance to taste some this year. Now remember, with your green beans, the same as your cucumbers, the more you pick, the more fruit they're going to put on. Their entire life cycle is based around making seeds for the next generation. And we want to get them off before they get too ripe, and they hide up in here pretty well. Like I said, the hardest work you're ever going to do in a deep mulch garden is harvest. You can do this too. I got a little bit more picking to do here. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one of our friends. Barbie's new to deep mulch, and her Minnesota garden shows just how well deep mulch works. They started off with leaves, and then they use all their grass clippings, and just look how well it's done for their potatoes and their cabbage. Barbie, that was a wonderful testament to the deep mulch. Those cabbages look wonderful, and those potatoes are going to be just beautiful. If you remember, last week we had this zinnia get knocked over with a storm, and it kind of broke here at the bottom. We put some soil over it and some mulch, and it's coming back just fine. Now we did the same thing with Carla that split. We got the tomatoes off of it, but all of the leaves have dried up. I'm not quite giving up on it because this stem doesn't feel like it's completely gone, but I'm not holding out any hope. The other side of Carla is doing just fine and is growing nicely. Go ahead and give it a couple wraps on the trellis. That just goes to show you not all experiments go the way you want them to, but then some of them do. Let's check out Walter's garden. He's got a new little gadget that he put together. I think this is pretty cool. Walter found some volunteers. Now this isn't his garden. This is just what's escaped outside the fence. Walter also came up with an easy way to get into that jungle and water. With some basic fittings and drilling into the pipe. He's able to just turn the water on and walk away. Walter, your harvest is coming in and this looks fantastic. It's amazing how much you can get in that small space. Thank you, Walter. Hey, Walter, just like your garden, You get kind of distracted by shiny object. There's so much going on. I got one there. I got one here. And Walter, we appreciate you letting us come along for your journey. Your garden is wonderful. Please leave a comment down below. It tells YouTube to push this out to more people that might want to learn how to garden. Now here we've seen these leaves flop like that. It's just because it's hot. And I don't even think I'm going to need to trellis this one. It's almost touching the ground. And these two, they're getting a little size to them. And from what I understand, the cushaw, you're supposed to just let them go ahead and grow till fall. These cushaw melons are related to butternuts, and they're supposed to be very, very sweet, just like a butternut. Kind of have the same flesh. Once these mature, they should store most of the winter. But from this angle, I see a couple other shiny objects we need to go look at. We spin around here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cantaloupe that are coming on. What I'm waiting for, this leaf right here, once that dies back, and this tendril's dried back, it's going to want to separate right there where the stem meets the fruit. It'll pop right off. We got about another week. Boy, this mint sure does smell good. But I see a couple more tomatoes we probably want to bring in. And if you remember, I planted this one on that side, so his roots are, a foot or so that direction underground. And you know, we just looked at a bunch of sad leaves, but you pull that mulch back, you look at that soil, it's good and damp. That's the beauty of the mixed mulch, where it's warm out here, some of the leaves are looking like they need water, they're just protecting themselves from the heat. As soon as it cools off a little bit, they'll pop right back up, and you can see that soil is good and moist. This mixed mulch, it moderates that soil temperature, and it also preserves that moisture. Let's go ahead and get these off. And as summer progresses, your garden is going to start to fill out. But anywhere you have something that's finished up, you want to go ahead and replant. Here's a summer garden we haven't seen in a little while. And Autumn's replanting. We haven't seen Autumn in a while, but Autumn's summer garden is thriving. She planted squash. She's eating beans right off the vine. And those fried green tomatoes, wow, that looks just delicious. Autumn, you're an inspiration to us all. Thank you for sharing. And if you hit the like button, it would also tell YouTube to push this out to more people that might want to learn how to garden. You can always share it. And if you wanted to join this group, there is a button there. And if you bought me a cup of coffee, you probably wouldn't hurt my feelings. Ooh, and our hot peppers, they're coming along nicely. These are almost ready. Oh, I think that one is. We do this because it tastes great. No, I'm not going to do that out here. Yeah, it's a little too warm out here to be eating hot peppers. But our Carolina Reapers, our Scorpions, and our Ghost, they're all loaded. Our Poblanos have some nice peppers on them. They're not very hot at all. And then we got our Serrano peppers, which we're going to get cowboy candy on. Those are hot little buggers. And then our Anaheims, which aren't hot at all. We've been picking off the yellow ones like mad, and they're starting to come back on like mad. Now these are nice sweet banana peppers. Now this batch of yellow cucumbers, the plant's looking pretty pathetic. It's been pretty hot, but it's produced a ton. We're pruning it up as fast as it's growing. And it's following this trellis out. Even though these plants might look a little pathetic on the trellis, they're still growing really well. And they're attracting pollinators, and I expect a ton more fruit. It's everywhere. Like I keep saying, the hardest work you're ever gonna do is harvest. Just a little update on our container tomato. I'm gonna have to restake this. Since we moved it into the larger container, it's put on a ton of growth, and we got new little tomatoes coming on. Well, I had to make another quick swing through to see if there was anything else that we needed to bring in, and I did not find any okra. You can do this too. Remember, until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.